رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان رمضان يا رمضان.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. We are concluding the month of Ramadan and in preparation for Eid al-Fitr. And we want to do a reflection on Eid al-Fitr as an introspective celebration. We are saying Al-Wida, bidding farewell to the blessed month of Ramadan, the month of the Quran, the month of Siyam, that's fasting, the month of Qiyam, of night prayer, the month of Ghufran, of forgiveness, the month of Ihsan, of goodness, and the month of Karam, of generosity. So we are saying Al-Wida, Ya Shahr al-Quran, Ya Shahr al-Siyam, Shahr al-Qiyam, Shahr al-Ghufran, Shahr al-Ihsan. We bid farewell to the month that hosts Laylatul Qadr, the night of power, a night grander in value than 1,000 months. In other words, more than 80 years, more than an average lifetime. One night in this month, greater than an entire lifetime. A month that harbors Yawmul Furqan, the day of criterion, which was occasioned by the Battle of Badr, the first major battle in the history of Islam in defense of the faith. We therefore bid a sentimental farewell or al-wida to Shahrul Mubarak, a hallowed month, a blessed month indeed. But in bidding farewell to Ramadan, we are faced with three very important questions. One, are we bidding farewell to all the good deeds we did in Ramadan as well? Number two, will we remain and maintain that kind of mentality and maintain and keep up the key practices of patience, humility, compassion, solidarity, love, and generosity throughout the year? Will we maintain that? And three, as Ramadan departs, will we let the spirit of Ramadan also depart and leave us as well? So are we bidding farewell to Ramadan or also to the good deeds? Are we going to maintain the practices that we kept in Ramadan? And as it departs, is the spirit of Ramadan going to depart as well? So let each one of us open a page from the book of our individual muhasabah, of our individual critical self-evaluation, and reflect as to what was achieved through this month. What benefits were derived? Which behaviors were adjusted? What good practices have been adopted? Which bad habits have been relinquished? How did the prayer and fasting of Ramadan influence our attitudes and perspectives? How has it improved our relationship? Our relationship with Allah, our relationship with our families, our relationship with our friends and neighbors. How did this practices of Ramadan, the prayer and the fasting, how did it affect our bodies, our hearts, our minds and our souls? We have been on a spiritual journey. As-sa'ihun, as the Quran referred to those who are fasting as spiritual wayfarers. We were on a spiritual journey, on a transcendent journey towards the attainment of taqwa, the attainment of piety. Where did the journey take us? Have we become better human beings, more considerate, more caring, more compassionate? Have we journeyed from self-centeredness to social consciousness? Have we journeyed from self-righteousness to righteousness? Where did we start? And how far have we journeyed? Have we journeyed at all? We have fasted in pursuance of taqwa. And what is this taqwa? It is a continuous process of character development coupled with Allah consciousness. Taqwa entails purification of the self from the evils of bad intention, from the evils of deceit and hypocrisy, from the evils of egoism and cowardice and conceit and prejudice. And that taqwa becomes manifested spiritually and physically in a positive attitude, in good behavior, and in a lovable character. All of this leads to a degree of moral, ethical, and spiritual elevation towards piety. The one who has truly benefited from Ramadan is the one whose condition after Ramadan becomes far better than it was before Ramadan. We should emerge from this month of Ramadan and enter the Eid and Shawwal with hopefully a better personality and a stronger character, confident of our ability to subordinate our desires to our will and our emotions to our intellect and our lower self to our higher self. Ramadan has filled our lives with blessings. Ramadan has awakened our slumbering conscience, and Ramadan has hopefully purified our souls. We have abstained from the three fundamentals of life: food and drink, necessary for daily survival, and abstained from intimacy, which facilitates the perpetuation of the human race. In other words, if people were not to eat or drink at all, we would all die. And if there was no intimacy, there would be no procreation and no perpetuation of the human race. So we have abstained from the three basic necessities of life: maintaining of life and the perpetuation of life. We have done this unquestioningly from dawn till dusk, every day for one whole month. Now, the auspicious day of Eid al-Fitr approaches. Every conscientious soul should be ready to face the year that lies ahead with renewed zeal, with unwavering will, with devoted fervor, with enthusiastic dedication, with a higher vision, accompanied by an enhanced spirit of universal goodwill. Be ever aware, be fully cognizant of the fact that next Ramadan may or may not come. And even if next Ramadan comes, we may or may not be around. And that's why the Rasul always advised, whenever you do a worship, do it as if it is your last one. Islam teaches us how to celebrate. And it teaches us to celebrate through Eid. A celebration which has no impropriety, no drunkenness, but rather it incorporates worship, sobriety, worship that brings Muslims together in harmony, reading Allah's name and glorifying His bounties, celebrating His glory and magnificence. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. God is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. Allah is the greatest. There's none worthy of worship but Him, and only He is the one worthy of all grandeur. Eid is an opportunity to multiply good deeds. Eid is a chance to bring delight and pleasure to the hearts of families and friends. At the same time, Eid is an opportunity to remind ourselves never to forget the less privileged. In fact, we do not start our Eid celebration and festivity until Sadaqatul Fitr, or the charity of Eid, has been paid already. Thus, even on Eid, remember the poor and downtrodden, and we do so even before we start our celebration of Eid. So, as we have gone through the Quran, and as we have walked in the light of the Quran, and as we've been inspired by the glorious Quran, let this day of Eid al-Fitr be an opportunity to purge ourselves from the grudges and suspicions of the past. Let it be an occasion for the elimination of rancor and hatred and envy. Let it be a time for renewed kindness to dear ones, a time for fostering love among Muslims, and a time for compassion for humanity and goodwill to the rest of the world. I bid you Eid Mubarak. Shukran. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.
رمضان يا رمضان